I'm Alistair Langton, Youth Officer for Derby Diocese, ex-physics teacher, forest fan, member of Long Eaton Operatic, a walker, a son, a friend, Christian and a youth worker. In my hobbies, I walk, I act, I swim. That's what I do. In my job, I'm a youth worker. That's what I am. That's how I behave. That's what informs every meeting, every encounter with a young person, and every meeting and every minute of every youth group session or residential. It's an age to move the slides off. If you were to cut me down the middle, I hope you'd find some sign of these 5 driving principles that form the basis of youth work worldwide. Participation, informal education, empowerment, equality of opportunity, all overlaid by that one distinct Christian value, incarnation. Our aim to become like Christ and like to those with whom we serve. We're not alone in working with young people. Kerry Young in The Art of Youth Work highlights the fact that doctors work with young people as young patients. Probation officers and social workers work with young people as clients. Teachers with students or pupils. Sport coaches with young people as footballers, rowers or athletes. The youth service, and I include the church, who work with young people. In all of its guises is one of the few services that works with young people as people. They see young people as people. Young people come to us because they want to. If we don't have a positive effect on their lives, they won't come back. They volunteer to come. They might come because they're in crisis. They might come because they're bored. Or they might come because they want to do some activity that's on offer, or to go on a trip. It's their choice. All we can do is open the doors and offer an organised and warm welcome. We're educators. We're there to give fresh insight and learning to every opportunity we can find, and in our sessions and in our encounters with them. We're the adult presence in the young person's space, whether that's on Facebook, Snapchat, around the pool table, or set in church, getting to grips with the substantial presence of our Lord in the elements on the altar, and what that might mean for a young person. 2 young 12-year-old lads arrived late and out of breath for a youth club session in Swanwick a few years ago, one Monday night. They'd chosen to go the long way round to avoid some older lads dressed in hoodies who were sat on the street corner. Some youth workers would offer reassurance and sympathy. Ian, the session worker, saw it as an opportunity for learning. Why were they intimidated? What had the hoodies done to force these boys to go the long way round? A gentle challenge. And by disarming the young people of the stereotype image of the hoodie, these young people and then the group looked for new ways to engage with these young people, to befriend the strangers in hooded headwear. You don't have to be trained to be an informal educator. You don't need a degree, you don't need an equipped certificate. We've all got life experiences. Many of us run homes, families, churches, lessons in schools or businesses. We are what we bring. Use it. Through education comes empowerment. Malala, that Pakistani heroine, herself a young person, said, "One child, one teacher, one book and one pen can change the world." Likewise, I'd echo, one young person, one youth leader, one encounter, and one enlightening conversation can change our communities. One hard-earned lesson I gleaned as a physics teacher many years ago from a wise and talented classics colleague was, if you're exhausted at the end of a session, at the end of the lesson, who's done all the work? Several years ago, I would organise a working party to put on youth events for young people in Derby Diocese. Youth groups would come, they were fun, they'd enjoy them, and they'd go home. Back in 2008, I learned the value of empowerment. I handed over this responsibility for diocesan youth events to our diocesan youth council, to a talented group of teens and early 20s from across Derbyshire. Yes, as the adult in the young person space, I provided the backup, the advice, the resources, very often the money, the risk assessments, the meeting rooms, and very often pizza. Plus the route that I, as the adult, had to the young people's groups across the diocese. They, on the other hand, provided well-managed creative events, far better than I could do, with opportunities for the fresh voices to be heard. Events where they chose the theme, they provided the artwork, the Twitter feeds, the spontaneous dramas, the prayer spaces, and last year alone they raised £1,700 for a local charity on the back of that empowered opportunity. Young people are not empowered to do something or to have a say in some of their activities and meetings that we facilitate, then we're missing the chance to let our young people shine. Two last principles. First, a challenge and a reminder, hopefully covered in more detail by Nigel Pimmett. In all that we do, does every young person, sorry, I should have moved on.
It's taking its time.
It's taking its time. Does every young person have the chance to participate? Those who can't read, those who can't cope with crowds, those who don't have the money or the transport or the help. Do we listen to that nagging voice in the back of our heads that looks at our exciting programme and ensures that everyone can have a go and get involved? And finally, we are Christian youth workers. We're Christ-focused youth workers. To many young people, we are the closest, you are the closest that they will come to seeing and meeting Christ. Do we welcome back the young teenage mum with the babies? Do we celebrate the success of the neat young man as he's offered employment? Do we give a welcome to that young woman with ADHD and a penchant for swearing? Jesus didn't call us to an easy life. He called us to follow him and embody his love and his principles. Last Saturday night's training session in this very college with some youth workers took this very well-known phrase, what would Jesus do, to its logical conclusion as we reflected on our role in a young person's life. It's actually not about what Jesus would do. It's more personal than that. As we try to embody those core values, the starting and the end point that drives me and hopefully every Christian youth worker is not what would Jesus do, but what would a youth worker do?